Hey guys, welcome to my channel. Today I am doing a video on what I ate in a week. It's probably not a whole week, but it's pretty close, and it's dealing with me trying to become a vegetarian slash vegan. So yeah, if you want to watch this video, please continue. Alright, so the first meal that I did was baked veggies. And I mean, you've heard so many different ways of making baked veggies, and I just kind of threw in some vegetables that I really wanted. So I did mushrooms, I did carrots, I did broccoli and cauliflower, and I also did yams. And it just tasted pretty good, but I baked it for about 20 minutes, maybe around like 425 I think, and came out pretty crispy. And I seasoned it with a bunch of different seasonings. I'll list them below, but to just tell you, I put salt, pepper, basil, paprika, oregano, and then specifically on the yams I did cinnamon, just for a little sweet treat kind of thing, and then I did olive oil on top of all of that. Okay, so for my second meal, I don't really know if I'll consider this a meal, but it was kind of more like a snack for me. So with the leftover veggies that I had from the baked veggies that I made previously, I took those and I took some black beans that I had already. I used a crock pot and I made a ton of black beans, so that's kind of a staple for a lot of meals now, is beans. Just like, it's very filling and it gives you energy. So I've been doing black beans and then kind of like whatever veggies I have. But for that little snack specifically, I used the leftover yams, and I did yams and black beans, and then I think I did a little bit of carrots, and it tasted pretty good. It was kind of like a sweeter treat because of the yams, but it's a good mixture of things.
So this is basically the same meal as before, but without the extra veggies. It's really good for breakfast, and I find that when it's topped with cheese, vegan cheese, it tastes so good.
Okay, so this is one of my favorite meals that I made. I did mushroom rice, and you can do it a bunch of different ways. Like, I've made it very, very mushroomy and very creamy and cheesy before, but this version was a little bit lighter, and it had a little bit more veggies in it than I normally put. So I did 2 bags of white rice, and then I added a little bit of brown rice as well, but you don't really have to. It's just kind of like whatever your preference is. And then I sauteed mushrooms and tomatoes and some spinach, and the tomatoes were diced, and it was really good, and it made it kind of like a tomato, kind of like a spaghetti sauce almost, but it was not super thick and just kind of had that nice little light saucy flavor. And so I mixed that in with the rice, and it was super good. And then I always, if I'm gonna make like a creamier meal, I'll do vegan cheese typically, and I'll do almond milk just to add like the more creamy texture to it. Also, I'm gluten-free, so I can't really add like thickeners. Well, I mean I could, but I don't really add like flour into stuff to thicken it, so I usually just do milk and butter, both vegan. So I did about, let's see, probably, honestly, I'm gonna tell you the truth, I didn't measure. I don't measure really anything, but I can give you a good idea. Is I kind of just poured the almond milk into the rice until it was like, it kind of had seeped in, but it wasn't like overflowing with it. And then if you take it and you put it back on the stove, it'll kind of like lessen the amount of almond milk and just kind of like soak it all into the rice, and it tastes pretty good. So I did that. And then for the spices, I kind of use the same spices with most of my meals depending on what type of genre the meal is, but I did salt, pepper, basil, ginger, and paprika, and it was pretty good. And I just added everything together, and I still have that in my fridge. So it's one of those things where it's nice to just have like a steady carb sort of thing sitting around if you get hungry, because then you won't eat stuff that you don't actually want. And so this could be like a full meal, You could add something to it, but it just kind of depends on what your preference is. But I ate a big plate of this and I was pretty full for a hot second, but I got hungry pretty soon after. So you just kind of have to be a little picky or put more veggies into it if you know that you're going to be not eating for a while. So yeah, I really liked it.
These are veggie fries, and I found them in the freezer aisle, and they're gluten-free and they taste so good, so I just wanted to show you guys those.
So for this meal, I'm doing avocado toast, and I freaking love avocado toast. I probably eat it every single day. If an avocado is in my fridge, I will definitely be eating avocado toast. It's just one of those things. So I've gotten pretty good at making it. So what I did was I did 2 gluten-free pieces of bread, and then on 1 piece of bread I did like about a half of an avocado. I know that's a lot, but I really like it, and I wasn't gonna be eating for a while, so I wanted a lot of food. So I did that, and then the rest of that half I put onto the other piece of avocado, on the other piece of bread. And then I had black beans in my fridge, so I put the black beans on that other slice as well, just to kick something going on with the taste buds. I don't know, I think that they taste well together. So I did that, and then I don't really like to eat it plain, just avocado on toast, so I topped it with a bunch of different seasonings. So I did paprika, salt, pepper, oregano, basil, and then I did ginger as well. And if you want to have like a kick, you can do some red pepper or something, but I wasn't really feeling that this morning, and so I did that. And then if I want it to have a little bit of like a more oily kind of creamy texture, I'll do a little bit of oil. It's kind of up to your own preference, but you can do coconut oil or maybe some olive oil, and it tastes pretty good. So yeah, that's one of my favorite things to do, and I really enjoy it, so definitely try it out. Okay, so the next meal was kind of weird for me. I just kind of did it randomly. I've never made it before, so I wanted to try it out. So I did avocado mac and cheese, which, what the heck, what is this girl doing? Mac and cheese shouldn't have avocado in it. I got that from a few of my friends, but I really like avocado, so obviously I wanted to try it out. So I did gluten-free noodles. I think that they were rice noodles. I just boiled them and then I drained them. And then I added 4 avocados. I did, however, do a full box of rice, so that 4 avocados was pretty needed. So I did that, and then I added lactose-free butter, and I did almond milk. You can do any sort of like lactose-free milk. You could maybe use soy or rice milk, whatever is your preference. And so I kind of did what I did earlier. I just kind of poured until I felt like it was good. So I usually do like 2 or 3 teaspoons of butter, and I kind of just let it melt and I see if it needs more. And then the almond milk, I did probably about 3 tablespoons to give you a actual measurement, something around there. And then once it was boiled, I drained it and I put the avocado in it. I had already mashed up the avocado, and so it was really creamy when I poured it in there, and I just stirred it in with that milk and butter, and it melted kind of. So I think if I were to do it again, I probably would cut the avocado into chunks and then just have like the extended flavor of avocado on the noodles, because it was way too creamy for me. And then I also did lactose-free cheese, and so I did not use that much of that. Normally when I'm making vegan mac and cheese, I'll use a ton of lactose-free cheese, and I really like it. But this time I kind of just wanted it to be more of the avocado flavor, so I did that. But I think if I'll go back, I'll do chunks of avocado, and I'll do a lot more of the regular cheese, because it was a very weird flavor. But I mean, if you like avocado, you would probably really enjoy it. So I did that, and then the spices that I put into it were salt, pepper, oregano, paprika, red pepper, and then turmeric. Turmeric was really good. It added a very good spice to it. I don't know, it's really up to you. But I did put a lot of red pepper because it was so creamy and so, like, I don't know, I guess it did, the creaminess and like the super avocado flavor kind of covered up the spices, so you have to do a little bit extra of the spices just to make it pop. But I thought it was pretty good. I ate that for multiple meals just because I had a lot of it, and someone even tried it and they really liked it too. So, you know, it's kind of like a trial and error when you're making new food, and it makes you feel good when people like it. So yeah, try it, feed your family members, feed your boyfriend, feed your friends, see if they like it, or just try something similar. You never know if you'll enjoy it. Alright, so this is my last meal that I did, and honestly I think it might have been my favorite, just because I love Mexican food. And by the way, it just started raining really hard, so I hope that you guys can hear me. I'm not sure. So anyways, let's continue. So I did a Mexican mash. I love this sort of thing. It's just so easy and so simple. And so I did kind of like a casserole type of deal. So I started off with a whole bag of mini potatoes. Now I cooked all of those a few days previous to making this meal, and so I just had a bunch of mashed potatoes in my fridge, which I still have, but they were really good and they can be used for so many different things. So I did a whole bag of those and I boiled them, and then I mashed them up and I added vegan butter and a little bit of almond milk per usual, maybe some salt. And then I took those and I had my extra black beans, so I'm kind of just trying to use a lot of the things that I already have in my fridge to make this meal because I don't want to waste more food. And so I took a thin layer of black beans, and then on top of that I did a thin layer of the mashed potatoes, and then on top of that I did, I did some sauteed mushrooms and some spinach. I did that separately and then I put it into that afterwards. And so I did that, and then on top of that I added some avocado and some diced up tomato, and then to top all of it off I did some cheese just to make it a little bit more creamy and have it all come together. And so I did all of that, and I set the oven for I think 350, and I cooked it for about 15 minutes. Now on top of that, I kind of put everything in there, and then I put the cheese in maybe like 10 minutes in, so it wasn't like brown when it came out. So you just want it to be a little bit melted. You don't need it to be like fully disgusting looking. So I did that, and then for the seasonings, I kind of do the same seasonings for everything, as you can tell, but I did thyme, turmeric, paprika, ginger, curry powder, red pepper, and then I did salt and pepper, which is a standard thing. But I have found that this works really well and it makes it taste very Mexican-ish. So when I was eating meat, I would put it on my ground turkey, and it tasted pretty good as a like a meat-ish flavor, something like that. But it works really well even with beans and stuff as well. So yeah, I really enjoyed it, and the mushrooms were kind of just my own thing, as I really like mushrooms, but if you don't have to have them on there. And I think that's pretty much it.
I forgot to mention this before, but everything that I bought in this picture was basically around $70 or less, and then I used a little bit of things that I had already in my fridge, but it probably was no more than 80 bucks in total, and it's lasting me more than a week. So I think that is awesome, especially because it's healthy.
Alright, so those were 5 different foods, well, meals that you guys could try out, and I'm gonna leave the recipes down below, and I hope you guys check them out, and I hope that you try them for yourself, because I had fun doing it, and I don't know, I think it's fun to try new recipes and to try cooking in general, because it just makes you better in the long run. So yeah, I hope that you guys enjoyed my video, and I hope that you guys take a chance and try these foods that you may not normally eat. And I hope that you guys have a wonderful day, and if you want to see more videos similar to this one, comment below and subscribe and like if you enjoyed this video. And I hope to see you guys later. Bye!